Ladies and gentlemen, this is Abdullah from Freedom for All. In this video, I will try to talk about mental diet and how you can go into this diet and live in fulfillment. Mental diet involves not being aware of the opposite of your desired end and being aware of the states you are dwelling in. So, to simply put it, mental diet is catching yourself up in any state. If you are in a good state, be aware of that state. Continue to feel good and enjoy the moment. If you can, feel thankful or grateful for it because being in a good state, gratitude can do anything. I even have a video on gratitude which is linked here. However, as I was saying, when you're in a bad state or in a difficult state, you still have to catch yourself up in the state. You still have to be aware of the state. It's actually more important to keep the mental diet when things seem not in favor of you. Neville said, if we do not like what is happening to us, it is a sure sign that we are in need of a change of mental diet. If you understand, your internal world is the reasons why you experience bad or undesirable states in the objective 3D world. Do you have anything to react or feel bad? So when you have a bad or unpleasant state, just change the state by realizing that it is mirroring the world you are living in internally. I know this realization is no easy thing because our attention is mostly in objective things and that makes us forget that what we experience is just the mirror of what we're doing within self. Neville said, the world is a mirror in which man sees himself reflected. So self-awareness here is important. When the word self-awareness comes here, it involves to be aware of a state as well as inner conversation. Speaking about states, Neville said, by states I mean attitude of mind. A state is the collective body of beliefs, assumptions, and automatic manifestations. When you get aware of the state, you should see them uncritically. I mean, you observe them with no judgment. And inner conversations are the words you are carrying with yourself. I have a video on that which is linked here. You are always carrying dialogues with self, and if you get aware of them, you'll notice it's you who is carrying the conversations, and you realize that you are the only one who can change them. Some people ask how to change negative inner speech. I think this is not so much about how to change them. Your undesirable mental conversations change the moment you realize that even after being the operant power, you are carrying words that don't serve you, words that you find undesirable. If you realize this, you will find yourself carrying desirable mental conversations. Now let us see how you can consciously go into the mental diet. First of all, this diet is not temporary. I see some online communities which make temporary mental diet challenges, which is good, but mental diet is supposed to be permanent. However, if you find easier doing this on a temporary basis, it is still good, but the purpose of it should be to continue the diet even after the temporary mental diet challenge is over. Neville Goddard has suggested 3 fundamentals that could be applied to your life in order for you to go into the mental diet. Even if you go with the temporary mental diet challenge, these fundamentals would be helpful, and if you apply them, you would enjoy the diet. So let's jump into those fundamentals. The first one is self-observation. When it comes to observe self, it means to observe uncritically, or to be more specific, it is neutrally observing your state as well as your inner conversation. Neville said, since thinking follows the tracks laid down in one's own inner conversations, not only can we see where we are going on the playing field of life by observing our inner conversations, but also we can determine where we will go by controlling and directing our inner talking. Some important things here. Your thoughts at a massive level follow what you are telling yourself internally. By observing your inner talking, you can notice the current state you are occupying from. That's what's referred here as the playing field of life. When you observe your inner speech neutrally, you find yourself in a different state, in a better state. The playing field of your life changes the moment you start to see your present mental conversations neutrally. Once you see your inner dialogues neutrally, You will know how to control them and you can direct where you want them to be placed. The second one is remaining faithful to your aim. In Neville's three fundamentals, it is a definition of aim. Before or while you go into the mental diet, you are supposed to know about your aim. So stick to your aim. Observe your reactions to the things happening around you. Neville said, knowing that all things are states of consciousness, you can easily tell whether you are faithful to your aim in life by watching your reactions to the daily events of life. If you are faithful to your ideal, your reactions will conform to your aim, for you will be identified with your aim and therefore will be thinking from your aim. If your reactions are not in harmony with your ideal, it is a sure sign that you are separated from your ideal and are only thinking of it. Assume that you are the loving one you want to be and notice your reactions throughout the day. In regard to that assumption, for your reactions will tell you the state from which you are operating. So looking at your present reactions, you can understand how faithful you are with your goal. The moment you change your reactions, you will start to change within. Inner conversations change and you remain more faithful. You automatically think from your aim when you are faithful. When you consciously go into a mental diet, your purpose is to be persistent with your faith. That will change your state and eventually that will automatically make you think from the end. I have a video on thinking from the end which is linked here. If you want to know details about thinking from the end, feel free to watch that. The last fundamental which can be used in mental diet is detachment. It comes in when a person is both a self-observer and aimful. Detachment is the separation from the undesirable things. When this separation takes place, it gets easier to live in the desired end. Neville said, the purpose of practicing detachment is to separate us from our present reactions to life and attach us to our aim in life. This inner separation must be developed by practice. At first, we seem to have no power to separate ourselves from undesirable states, simply because we have always taken every mood, every reaction as natural and have become identified with them. When we have no idea that our reactions are only states of consciousness from which it is possible to separate ourselves, we go round and round in the same circle of problems, not seeing them as inner states but as outer situations. We practice detachment or inner separation that we may escape from the circle of our habitual reactions to life. That is why we must formulate an aim and constantly notice ourselves in regard to that aim. So detachment is all about escaping from the habitual reactions to life. When you know what you experience purely is your internal state driven and your inner conversation pushed out, you can change them and notice yourself to your ultimate goal. When you successfully detach, you surely have nothing to worry. Let things go and watch things come to pass. Speaking about detachment, Neville also said, letting go is true detachment. There is no worry, fear, or obsession. You trust that it's yours because you know that it is. The evidence is already within you and in your life. Fearlessly, you simply trust in your imagined end because what you can possibly dream exists already within you. With so many things happening all around you, you remain still, move in your imagination, and let things come for you. Speaking about that, Neville said, you can mentally shut out the facts of life and move anywhere in your imagination. do that and no one looking at you physically tell you where you have mentally moved. So do your diet knowing that the whole movement you are able to make is the psychological movement, because where you move mentally, you experience physically. There's one last thing that I believe will help everyone who is trying to be conscious of mental diet. This one is quite simple to do, and it can help you have a diet that may make you experience fulfillment. Well, what I'm talking about is practicing silence. Being silent, you can be a good observer of states and inner speech, which would eventually help you attach to the aim of your life. If you apply silence to all the things I explained in this video, perhaps it may become easier for you to experience a flexible mental diet. Speaking about silence, I have a wonderful quote of Rumi to share with you. He said, "Your old life was a frantic running from silence. Move outside the tangle of fear thinking, live in silence." Your old life means the life you had with dissatisfaction, fear, and doubt. By starting to live in silence, you experience the vibe of new life that sets you free from depressions and sorrows. Now, let us go into the silence.